What's up, guys, and welcome back to the tutorial. So in this part of the tutorial, I'm going to be showing you guys how you can integrate 3D objects into real life footage, just like you've seen in this video. So without further ado, let's get started. So I already got my clip here. You can see I have a clip here. It says playing, and then I have another one here. It's just the background. So first I'm going to be dropping this my clip in. So if I should play this, so I already got a clip here, but I don't really like this because my clip is actually a little bit shaky. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be stabilizing my shot. Let me pull this up to the screen. So I'm going to go over to the motion track, Windows, and then go over to tracker. See, I've got everything is actually here. I'm going to select the clip and then click on wrap stabilizer. So I need the clip to be stable because I don't want it to be that shaky. So as you guys can see, it's actually done with the wrap stabilizer. The shot now looks smooth and stable. Everything's now looking fine. So the next thing we need to do is that we need to pre-compose this because we don't want this to interfere with the 3D camera tracker. So yeah, I need to move everything. Select the second one, move all attributes into a new composition. That's what we need to do. So yeah, you should come out and then click on this plane so we see everything. Yeah, so the effect menu, there's nothing here. So the next thing we need to do is click on track camera so the 3D camera can track. So it lets us fix our plane and then flies properly. Okay guys, so as you can see now, it's actually done tracking. The 3D camera tracker has done its beautiful and amazing work. And if you can see the 3D tracking point, so I can just come over to this part or in this part and then click on right click and then create camera and solid, or I can just come out or create a camera, but I'm just going to click on create camera and solid. So we have a 3D object there. If I should play this now, you can see the 3D object just stick to the screen like I said. It's actually there in 3D time space. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to this part. I'm going to shut down this pink layer first, and I'm going to create a new solid. I'm going to be naming this element. Yep, we're going to use element 3D for this element. So now it's all dark. So the next thing we have to do is come over to the effect and preset menu and then type out element. Or if you don't want to use that, you can actually come over to your effect and then video copilot. Make sure the layer is selected, effect, and then video copilot, and then select your element. This is the same thing as the one there. So I'm just gonna click this from here. So now voila, everything is gone, nothing is here. So yeah, the next thing we also need to do now is click on scene setup. So it loads up to give us the scene and environment. Yeah, so now we've got the environment. So like you can see that in that video we actually added the helicopter. Like I already have a bunch of buildings and stuff here on my element 3D but here do not have the helicopter. So I actually downloaded the helicopter model, so I'm going to be including this in the file. You guys can actually use it. So I'm going to be importing this. I already have it here, which is a Seahawk. Just click OK and then OK. So voila, we've got the helicopter. This is pretty much amazing. Okay, so I'm going to be taking this up a little bit so it just stay the same point at this grid line. Yes, this is good. This is good. So I should click OK. Now you should come back here. Where is it? Okay, you can see it. See the helicopter is actually there and it's up on 3D airspace. It's just there in 3D airspace. So now the next thing we need to do now is start doing the texturing and shadow stuff and animation. Okay, so that's it there. So next thing you need to do is start doing the texturing, shadow and animation stuff like that. So if you should come back to your project, I actually added this environment. This is a 360 environment map, which I did from my phone. My phone is not that clear though. I had to do this with my phone today, 360 environment. For those of you using an iPhone, you can actually use the Google 360, the Google Street app to make a 360 image of the environment. Okay, so I'm going to be putting this here, and then click on the element layer, go over to the effect control, and then go over to customize layer, and then customize texture and map. Same way we did to that text lightning that we did on element 3D, and then select this image, which is this one here, which is the environment. So I'm going to shut down the layer. So now go back to After Effects, I mean your your element 3D, and then under environment, come over to this part and then click on this. Now you can notice there was a tiny change in the plane, but you don't notice that much. I'm going to increase the lighting a little bit. You can change, like my graphics card is not strong enough. You should have seen it on the body. Let me just increase the brightness a little bit small. Turn it be good enough. Like click okay. So the next thing we want to do, we need to add in a plane that helps you put in the shadow. Okay, we need to put in a plane so you can easily see the shadow of this stuff. So this is the plane. I'm going to be increasing this. I need to increase the size. It needs to be really big because the plane will be moving. So yeah. So this is it. So now you can notice the plane, the side of the plane is a little bit red. This is because the room is a little bit red. Got this red. This is another red. So now if you can notice, we're not seeing the plane which we added though. This is because the camera is like a little bit slanted, like the camera is high above the ground, so the camera is actually facing the ground. Okay, like if you look from the 3D camera track, you can notice the camera. Let me take this out so you can see it. You can notice how the camera is positioned. The camera is a little bit higher than the plane. So let me take it back to the active camera so you guys can see everything. So now I'm going to be rotating the layer where the plane and everything is so you guys can see it well. Particle replicator, sorry. Rotation, I'm going to be rotating this a little bit. Nope, not that. That's on the environment. On this other way around. And according to the ground, we need it to be okay. Let's turn this back straight up. Okay, now take this back. No, okay. Oh no, this is too high. This is too high. We need to be like it's actually the floor. Okay, yes, exactly. This is good. This is not that good. Let me take this up back. Up. Yeah. No. Okay, so this is good. Yeah, this is good. So the next thing now we need to add in the shadows and lighting and stuff first, and this white plane is not needed to be seen. Okay, so come over to scene. So now you have to go over to the plane, bring this down, click on this texture here, slide down, and then enable matte shadow. This will be good, really good. Then come over to this hawk. We need to make some adjustment on the body of this plane. Like if you go over to the this glass, it's not really that serious that you want to do this, but I'm just doing this for the sake of tutorial, which is this. I just want to increase the reflexivity of the texture of the glass a little bit. So let's see how it goes. Okay, I just increase the intensity of the reflectivity and the refraction a bit. So let me increase the glossiness to make it look a little bit more, you can see it look more metallic. If I should take this at the end, it's a full metal, but this should be good enough. So now let me not look into that. Let's go to what's important for now. So we need to click OK. So as you can see the plane, let me increase the stuff so you guys can see it. So scene setup again, because you can notice the texture is a little bit big. So that's it, but you can actually see the shadow. So I have to come over to render settings, matte shadow, make sure this is enabled, and then come over to shadow, and then enable the shadow. But you can actually see that nothing is actually showing. Now next we need to do is right click, add a new light, make sure it's a parallel, and I'm going to be leaving my 44, and then this should be like 69, and make sure your cast shadow is turned on. Okay, click OK. So you guys can actually see the shadow is actually there now. There's actually a shadow underneath the plane. You can see, but it's not properly aligned. So we're going to be using the active camera, the custom camera view, so we can actually see. You can see where the light is pointing. The light's actually here and the plane is here. So we need to take the light this way, drag it up, and then turn this point of view, the point of interest, towards the helicopter. We need to check this from different view just to make sure we're good. Let's check this from the left view. This is the left view. Oh, it's still looking a little bit like the forward one. Let's check from back. Okay, the back is now looking like left and right. So let me take this back and then down, then point it on top of the helicopter. So let me take another view from the top. Top. Sorry. Top. So okay, you see this, it needs to be here directly on top of it. So now that's good. So I'm gonna take this back to the active camera. Let's see how it looks like now. Wow, okay, you see that we've got the shadow now. But the shadow lightning is a little bit too strong. Shadow is too strong, so I'm going to be reducing that. Double click on this and then reduce the shadow darkness, because it don't need to be that strong. Okay, 43 is good enough. Yeah, you can also increase the light, okay, just to make sure the plane is good enough. Okay, so now that's it for the shadow. So now the next thing we need to think of is how to spin the blades, and also the two blades, and also how to animate it. So the next thing, you have to go back to your elements again. Go over to scene setup. So now as you can see, we've got just one group here, which is just the group one. So I'm going to be taking right, come over here and then click creating a new group, and the new group I'm going to change this to as group 2. I'm going to be taking this under the group 1, and then I will bring in the plane, the helicopter to the group 2. Sorry, I had to mistakenly put this group under group 1, so I'm taking it out and then naming this as group 2. Now in order for us to animate this blade, you guys are actually seeing like what we saw in the tutorial. Now we need to parent this to the auxiliary animation, like I actually talked about in the previous tutorial. So first I'm going to come over to the mesh view, where you can actually see the rigid parts to animate from element 3D. Click on the mesh view. Like you see a lot of stuff here. It says body, tank 2, right wheels, left wheels, and every stuff here. So left doors. So this is where you can actually animate everything. So I'm just gonna come over to the blade, press Control on your keyboard, and then select this blade. You can actually see there's four square stuff around now. It shows me which of them is a blade. So this is the blade. I'm just gonna right click and then go over to auxiliary animation, and then I'm gonna put this under channel 1. Then the blade at the back, which is this blade, and we're just going to do the same thing, Control and then select. So it showed me where the blade. Okay, this is the blade. I'm going to right click, auxiliary animation, channel 2. Now this is auxiliary animation channel 2, 1 and 2 under group 2. Okay, so that's where we're going to be animating from. So for the environment, I saw that the environment was not that good, so I'm going to increase the brightness a bit so it's really bright. So click OK. Now you can notice the plane rotated. This is because we moved it from the layer where it was before to another from the group where it was before to another group. So I'm going to go back to that. So it's under group 2. First thing I'm going to do is come over to this part and then create null, create group and null, which I can easily use to control this. So first I'm going to rotate this. Look at the rotation. Sorry, that's not it. This is the null that was created. So I'm going to press arrow on my keyboard and then rotate this. Rotate this way. So you can notice this is controlling it now. So I'm gonna take this up a bit so it stays out because it's not looking really balanced. So I have to rotate this a little bit, turn this. Sorry, okay, this way will be good. Okay, yeah, this is it. So this is not that straight though, for the sake of tutorial. Just doing it here. So now, in order for us to animate the blade to spin, come over to you, select your element layer, come over to your element control settings. Remember, it was under group 2, so we're going to go over to auxiliary animation under group 2, channel 1, which is the first blade at the top. Go over to rotation, and then we have to check which one is actually the one that spins it. Okay, no, that's not it. It should be this one. Okay, this is exactly, this is it. Okay, so now what we have to do is press Alt on your keyboard and then click on the stopwatch, and then it gives you this stuff here. You can actually see it. This is the code it brings out. So now you have to press time on your keyboard, time, shift, and then press star. Press shift on your keyboard and then press star, and then the amount of speed you want. I need the speed of this 1700. I'm just going to copy this because I'm going to be using this again for the back blade. So if I should play this now, this is what you get a spinning blade. Okay, as you can see it. Let me play some resolution so you guys can see it fast. So it's actually spinning now. So yeah, that's it. So now the next thing we need to do the same thing for the back blade, so which is group 2, channel 2, rotation, and then we have to check which one spins, right? Oh no, that's not it. Okay, that's it. So Alt, click on stopwatch, and then I'm just have to paste in that time here. So we have it here. So now both blades are actually rotating now.
Okay guys, so now you can actually see that we're done with the animations of the propeller. You can see everything is actually spinning, but this spin is not actually straight though. I need to straighten this helicopter a little bit to, I think, the group now. So I need to straighten this. The orientation was not properly aligned. No, not there. I need to rotate a little bit to the left and right. No, the other way around. Yeah, I think this is good enough. So now the next thing we need to do, if you can notice, the environment texture is not really that looking good. So Another thing, guys, like if you can remember, I actually say if I let me shut down all this layer so you guys can see it. This is actually the environment I use. It's a 360 image of the environment, which I use my camera, my phone camera. You can use this with Google Street, like I said. But if you could actually, if you guys could actually notice, this thing is that the environment is not that good on the plane, the on the helicopter. It's too red. Like, I'm not sure, this is not actually looking good. So another way is that if you guys are not having a 360 environment, another thing you can do is that you can actually come over to the video layer, which is the video layer, which is the main video. You can actually use that as your own environment. All you just have to do is just duplicate the video layer and then go over to the element layer, and then on the customize layer, which is the customized texture, you can actually select the video layer as your texture and then use that at the inside the environment. But for this, we're not going to be using the environment. We're still going to be using our 360 environment map which we captured. So this time I need to change it. This time I need to select it directly from file, because from here it's looking as if it's not actually fitting in to the environment. So I'm going to be selecting it from the file direct. So as you guys can see, the environment, everything is actually dark. Even though to put the part, I actually selected the stuff as the environment, which I use at the custom texture. You can see that's what I selected, but everywhere is still dark. So now I'm going to be selecting this directly from the file. So I'm going to come over to environment, click on this, and then select from file. And I already have the file stored in my computer, so I'm just going to go there, okay, which is this. And then wow, you can see that it's actually texture big, but no problem. You can actually see it here. Everything's actually looking good. I'm going to reduce the brightness. Let me take this down back to 0 because it's not that bright. Or maybe I just increase it a little bit. So now if you can notice, just like this, I'm going to increase the UV repeats to about 5 on the X and Z axis. I think 5 is to 5. So now we've got this. I should click OK on this. So it's now looking a little bit good. You can see everything is now reflecting on the plane. Everything's now looking good. Yeah, that's what we need now. So if I should click OK now, let me show. No, there's no problem for this. If I should click OK on this, you can see it's now reflecting. You can see on the blade, it's reflecting on this side of the plane. This side is actually reflecting good. If I should click OK now, you can see now it's now looking much better than before. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is on how to animate this helicopter to fly from the ground. So the next thing we have to do is come over to the position, which is the null object. Press P on your keyboard. I think to this point, press stop. Maybe it should be from here, and then take it a little bit forward, and then take it up. I think, yeah, you can see it's actually going up. It's going up. Now that's good. So now, as you can see in the video, it went up and then for some second, and then it started moving forward. So I'm going to take this forward a little bit. So from here it starts moving. I need to animate this to move out of the scene. Move out of the scene completely. But if you could notice something, that the okay, let's finish up with this before we get started. So now if we should play this now, this is what we should get. Okay guys, so I have to put this on third resolution so you guys can actually see it. So you can see this now, yeah, but the animation is looking somehow not that good compared to the one we saw on the tutorial, which is not that good. We need to fix this. This is not actually accurate, because you can see this actually went all the way back, which is not the way it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be that way. Nope. So we need to adjust this. Okay, it needs to go up straight. I'm going to be removing this out, and I'm also going to be, wait, let me see how this looks like from here straight. We all know the helicopter needs to go up before it start moving. So the first thing we need to do, we need to get it up straight. So I'm going to be deleting this again now. I need to fix this properly. This needs to go up straight. Yeah, I think this is good now. So if I should play this, I think we should get a good animation. Yeah, we've got a good animation now. Now, another thing I want to look into, we just don't want it to just go up straight that way, because the animation is not as still, and the helicopter is not moving that way. So we're taking, once it's getting close to this part, we need to create another keyframe by clicking the stopwatch here, and then take this a little bit closer to this part. Now it makes that ending animation where the plane is actually going on, makes it smooth. You see, it makes it now slow. You could actually see that now there's a slow motion at the point whereby it's actually going to stop at the sky. You can see it. That's really good. Now the next thing we need to do is animate it on when to move. Once to stop, I need to create another keyframe here again. This is also the same as this one because there's nothing happening. It's just the same thing as this one because I just have to create another keyframe. Nothing happening. So let me go a little bit forward, and then I'll take this. Now this is where I have to animate it to move out of the screen. Out. I'll still move it out, and it's completely out. So if I should play this now, this is what you should get now. Okay, but that wasn't looking that good, but to some extent, I'm not gonna lie, there's a glitch here that seems as if it bent down again before it moves, which is not that cool. I'm gonna delete this because I don't want the animation to look rough. No, so I think the problem is actually coming from this one. So I'm going to be deleting both of this animation. We just have to do that again just to make sure we have a perfect animation. So I'm just going to click that position, which is here. Or maybe we don't need this. So once it's there, so you can see that once it's there at the top, the next thing is to make it move. So I'm just going to click on another one here. Let's see how it looks like. Okay. So now I created another keyframe at the end. Once it goes to the top, it comes down and then it's stable, and then now it's time for it to move. So when it gets to this point, I want it to move out completely out of the scene. Let's see how it looks now. So if I should play this now, this is what we should get. Amazing. It's not looking all good. So this is it. First animation, then it goes to the top, then it goes down a little bit, and then it moves out of the scene. But yeah, this was actually too fast though. So I need to take this a little bit out. Let me drag this last keyframe out of the scene. I need to increase my timeline. So this should be a little bit more. Let me increase my timeline. Although that's where the video actually ended though. The video is not like it's actually that long, because you can see this is where it actually ended. So I want to increase the timeline to make the movement a little bit more slower. So okay, yeah, that's good enough. That's good enough. Okay, you can see it now, so it moves. But if you can notice, another thing you can actually notice here, that when it gets to this part, the shadow, let me put this at full resolution so you guys can see everything. The shadow of the helicopter actually cut out. It didn't even get close to this part. You can notice that it actually cuts out of the scene, which is not what we want. So this is here that the sun, this is because the sun is not actually, the plane has actually moved towards the part where the sun was not. Because if you can actually see this from here, let me check this in the custom view. You can see this is the helicopter. It's already at the front. The sun is behind the helicopter, so there's no how you can actually get the shadow when the sun is behind you. You need to be in front of the sun. Okay, so or you need to be behind the sun, not the sun behind you. So we need to create another sun, another parallel light, which is the sun, the artificial sun. So I'm going to be duplicating this, and I'm going to be taking this backwards, so you can actually see now the plane is actually coming in now. So we need to put it in front of the plane so we can actually get another shadow. So we've got like two shadows here. Let me take the hand tool and then take this front. This is, remind you, this is the second one. This is it here. So we take this a little bit forward. So let's check how it looks like on the active camera. Sorry, I put this on fit to zoom. So yeah, we've got another shadow here. So no matter how this moves out, we still have another shadow here. Yeah, so let's put this on quarter resolution or half, so this could actually preview fast for us to see it. So you can see it. So this is it. It's moving now. You can actually see it. Sorry, I had to put this on quarter resolution so you guys can actually see it. So you can see the two shadows, but one is actually higher than one though. This is because there are two suns in the scene, which is not supposed to be so. So I'm going to be reducing. We are going to be animating this, or we can actually reduce the shadow darkness, so don't get that much of shadow. You can actually animate this, okay, to get your shadow darkness out. So this is the first one, so let me reduce this a bit so okay you can see, so they blend in properly. So you can see that. So right from time it comes up from the ground and then it moves out. So we have a cool animation here. You have the plane moving and everything. So now the next thing we need to do, you need to make this thing look more realistic. You need to turn on the ambient inclusion and other stuff, motion blur, to make the whole animation looks good. Because if you can see this now, it's actually good. It's actually moving, but it's not looking like what we actually saw in that video. So the next thing we need to do is come back to the elements layer, take a look at the blade. So the first thing I'm going to turn on now is under the render settings, I'm going to go down to motion blur, and then turn on the motion blur from composition, turn it on. Just take a look at the blade. You can see now it's now a little bit blurry. This is because this is how it's supposed to be. So the next thing after that, the shadows are already turned on. So we need to go over to the ambient occlusion. Let's take this back to the beginning when the plane was still sitting on the floor properly. You need to turn on the enable the ambient occlusion to add more realistic shadow to it. You can see it. And then from SSA, we need to turn this on to ray trace. Now this is actually going to make it look a little bit more heavier. Okay, the rendering is going to take a little bit more time to render. So you can see it now, the shadows and everything is now looking more tinted. It's not looking more real to the environment and everything. So guys, that's it on this one. I think that's going to be the last thing. If we should take a preview on this, it's going to take a little bit of time to preview, but let's just see how it goes. So guys, another thing I also noticed was that the helicopter, the back blade, this one was not that straightened. So this is just a minor thing you can actually do inside the Element 3D. You just adjust it to make it look straight, so your work is actually good. If I should go, this is it. If you can actually look at it from here, you can see it's actually a little bit bent. Let's get close. Let me select this by pressing Control and then select it. Sorry about that noise actually, and then click this target so it get closer. So if you can actually look at it, you can see it's not that straight, so we need to straighten this. Click this rotation tool and then use the blue to twist it to make it straight, and voila, here we go. So we got a straight one now, a straight back blade. Yeah, so that's it for that. So yeah, so let's move on. So one last thing that we can actually add to this to make it look really good is that the shake effect you're actually seeing in that video. So all you need to do is just select all the layers by pressing Ctrl A on your keyboard, right click, and then pre-compose this, and then just click OK. And then I actually have now it takes you out to the plane. This is it. This is the final composition. So now the next thing you need to do is I actually have a plugin that lets me add camera shake effect to all this whole thing. I don't need to go through this long process, which is the Motion Bro plugin. I can actually have the camera shake effect on this whole thing. So let me just show you. So as this thing loads out, so you can actually see it. So as you can see, this actually has a lot of varieties. It's just a shake, camera shake effect. It has a lot of stuff. I can just easily or manually add in the shake. You can see they all have their own levels. You can see how it works. I can just easily add in the levels of shake to this whole thing, and then you can see, let this thing load out, so you can actually see that the shake effect is actually added to it. You can see this way it should load up. So guys, the shake effect has actually been added to this thing. If I should play now, it's going to take a lot of time to render, but it makes everything looks shaky to make it look good. So I'm just have to put it at the quarter resolution so you guys can actually see the preview, but it's going to take a lot of time to preview, so I'm just going to leave it that for now. But if you have the Motion Bro effect, the effect pack, the Motion Bro effect pack, the simple transition, you can actually add the shake effect manually to your composition or to your file. But let's say you're not having the Motion Bro stuff, and then you want to manually add the camera shake effect. All you just need to do is come over to your composition, and then make this a 3D layer, the 3D layer which is already pre-composed. The pre-composed layer, press P on your keyboard, which is for the position. Press Alt and then select the stopwatch, and then press wiggle open bracket by pressing Shift in the top, and then let me say at every 2 seconds 2,3. So let's see how this thing goes now. If you play this now, you can actually see it now. Let's wait for it to preview.
So guys, as you can see now, you can see that there's a manual, there's a tiny shake on the camera. You can notice it's actually waving a little bit because we added the wiggle animation to the position. Like if you want the shake to also increase, you can actually increase the numbers on this wiggle, like this 2 and 3. You can change this. Maybe you can say every 2 seconds there's a shake of 3, or you can say every 2 seconds there's a shake of 4, 5, or you can always increase that. Just know that the higher the numbers, the higher the effects of the shake. I had to put this on low quality resolution so you guys can actually preview this. So yeah, that's it for the camera shake. Okay guys, so you can actually see that we're actually done with the animation. You can see the plane moving, the shadow is actually there, everything's actually moving fine. You can see the ambient occlusion, everything's actually looking good. You can actually take more time to work more on your ambient occlusion to make it look more realistic than this. You can actually work on the RTAO samples to increase the shadow darkness, and you just have to tweak the settings to make everything look good. But for this now, this is it, and this is actually the end of the tutorial, guys. This is the end of the whole masterclass. Thank you guys for actually purchasing this course, moving from the beginning to the end. Really appreciate you guys a lot. Thank you guys. I hope at the end of the whole thing you guys can actually come up with something creative. Like, you can always send me your work, and let me see what you guys came up with. You can send me your works on my Instagram page at Victor Trails, and also on my Facebook at Victor Trails. Wherever you guys purchase this course from, just send me your work in so I can actually see the progress level. And don't forget to always ask any question if you guys ever feel left behind, or get stuck at any point in time. You guys can always send me questions, and I will love to reply to that. Thank you guys once again, and peace out.